Ooh, John, this is a toughie. I'm gonna go with less than 100. Final answer. Lock it in.
Oh, so sorry, Dave. The answer we were looking for was 500 or more. Thanks again for playing. How many times has my significant other had an affair? We'll return after this commercial break.
Hi, I'm Santa Claus, and you must be Frosty, the snow hoe. I see you're alone this Christmas, looking for some company. Well, you're in luck, because this year, naughty or nice, you're getting it twice. And when I empty my holiday sack, it'll guarantee a miracle on 69th Street. After all, I'm always jolly on Christmas, because I only come once a year. And this year, I'm ready to fill your stocking. So if you're hot and looking for a white Christmas, just jingle my bells and Santa will come down your chimney. Then all over you.
Yeah, we're going, man. Let's do it.
We're already recording?
Yes.
So this is part of the recording.
You motherfucker. Really?
Welcome to the Six That Podcast.
Jesus. What a way to kick off Season 2.
Season 2. Episode 1. Season 2 of the Six That Podcast. Yeah. Yo. That's the crowds. They're cheering for us. All three of them.
Yeah. So we had some time off. What did you do? Hey, JD, what did you do with your time off?
Have you ever heard of edging? How long of a break did we have?
Hey, is that one of those things that you take and do better than everybody else?
Okay, for people who don't know what edging is, all right. So edging, I'm told, is a good way to
He's told.
be successful. Well, it hasn't worked thus far for me, but I did just start, like right now as the podcast started.
Oh God.
I'm just kidding. So edging is like getting your man fluids like working, you know, like you diddle yourself or you do your thing, right? You get really close and then you stop. Maybe do it a couple times, it doesn't matter, but you never actually get yours. And then you just, tuck the shit away and then walk off and enjoy your day, right? Never actually getting what the scientists call the climax. And then there's a lot of, actually I did the research on it, believe it or not, and they do say there are a lot of benefits to that of like building up like stamina and longevity, like in a sexual situation, but outside of a sexual situation,
Good for your prostate.
Yeah, and it also gives you blue balls. And
I was just taking a guess. Is it really good for your prostate? I would imagine it would be.
It is actually. But another thing outside of that is it essentially like it gets like your hormones going where you're a little more confident and you're a little more driven and that kind of stuff, right? So
you've been edging.
It's awful. It's awful. It's fucking awful. Dude, it's awful. Because I've got none of those pros that were just listed in that, like, at all. Like,
you've also only been edging for maybe like an hour. It takes time.
Yeah, it was this afternoon. Really, I started it, and then I asked this girl that I'm kind of talking to.
Now you're rubbing your head. Is that the hand you use, or is it?
Is that why it's not working? I'm rubbing the wrong head. Wah, wah. No. Anyway, so
that's what you've been up to.
Well, that was today. So going back, actually, I got a bus pass. So actually, since I came back from New York, I wanted to essentially compare the transportation, and I don't have a car, but mainly the first one. And so I'm in St. Louis, and Illinois is not too far away. I tried to go on the public transportation system. I tried to go to the zoo, which is, I would say, about 10, 12 blocks, but that's not like New York blocks. It's like St. Louis blocks, which is a lot bigger and a lot more rural than other blocks. I got lost and ended up in fucking Illinois on a 2.5 hour like metro ride into another state.
Cool. So you want to ask me about what I did
Nope.
on our time off?
I do not. Anyway, and let's see what else happened. What did you do on the break that you did not want to take?
Not much. So moving on.
So we've actually got a lot of. I think we hinted at it on our season finale that we're going to do things a little bit different this season. You know, we're going to be a little more contained.
Is that what you say to all the girls? It's gonna be different this time. I promise.
I swear to God, it's you, not me. But we're gonna do things. We're gonna be a little more organized. Not organized. We're still gonna go off on tangents.
That's funny. You and me being organized, like 80.
Right? Yeah, right. We're gonna be bicycle. But we decided to add some segments into our talk. So I think we should go ahead and do one now. But which one do you want to do first?
Well, we got to talk about like some of the ideas. One of them.
I know that's what that was your lead-in. You fuck.
Oh, here we go. Man,
Sorry.
time off makes you mean.
Edging makes.
It's almost
you mean.
it's almost like episode 1, season 1, where you were just a complete dick the whole time.
Trying to stay consistent.
Yeah.
My therapist says I need that in my life.
You know. Anyway, wait, therapist?
I'm kidding. I'm not going to a therapist. I don't have insurance.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a weird name for $50 Craigslist hooker, but whatever. Call it what you want.
Hold on. Where have you been getting a $50 discount?
All right, so one of the segments in this, and it's supposed to sound stupid, but it's the bone zone.
The bone zone. So you briefly mentioned the bone zone. Give us the rundown.
The bone zone is where I'm going to pick, not at random, but pick 3 people that JD doesn't. I'm going to surprise him. I'm going to have it picked before we do the show, and they're going to be 3 like horrible people, whether it be physically horrible, whether they have horrible personalities or anything else. 3 horrible people, and he's going to have to pick one that he'll bone, one that he'll friend zone. That's where we get the bone zone, and one that he'll marry. It's kind of like the fuck, marry, kill, but a little bit nicer without killing, because there's too much killing lately. I
agree.
We wanted to,
And we wanted to use bone zone in a sentence.
yeah, dude, bone zone's amazing.
Like, how could you not use bone zone?
Bone
Like,
zone.
The bone zone. What was the other one they had?
Motivational quotes from us. So either you or I will. I don't know, like a nice little quick motivational quote to kind of take with you on your day and your journey
into the world.
Yeah,
Your adventure into
like
the
after
life.
you've been mentally terrorized by this podcast, you'll be able to leave with something.
We need to give back to the community and more than like an STD.
Yeah, and we have a couple of other ones, but we're still working them out.
Yeah,
Those are the ones that have the production ready to go.
I was about to say I had a couple that I really wanted to do, like something like a daily optimism where we tell either like a very negative, horrible, depressing ass story, but we do it over really happy, upbeat music. And we haven't really figured out what we're going to do with that one. But I really want to do like Sell Me This, or it's kind of take on what we discussed about the fake news that we wanted to do, a fake news segment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but so this one would be each I will or you, because me and you both come from sales backgrounds. So one of us will pick a product at random and give it to you on the spot, and you have to sell me on it or make an advertisement or commercial, sell me on it, but it cannot be for its actual given purpose.
I like that.
I think that'd be a lot of fun. Like my example was actually I used to do sales training classes, and my item and this is kind of what I did in training when I was training people in sales is I'd bring in a stick, like a stick from the yard, and I'd be like, now I need you to sell this as something more than a stick. My example was I called it the STK 500i, and you were buying the stick, but you also got a user manual with 500 different uses for the STK 500i. And it's really just a stick, but it's also like a home defense security system, and it has a picture of somebody being hit with the stick. Like that was my idea for.
That's good.
So
yeah,
that's something I want to do. Anyway, so which one do you want to do now?
None of them. I want to talk about
Got
one. I want to talk about one more that was an idea of yours that I really like too. Is summarizing an entire movie into either, was it one sentence?
One sentence or 30 seconds. We haven't decided which one we wanted to do, but I think it would be hard to do in one sentence.
I think that's going to be great then.
Yeah, I think so too.
I like the challenge. Like a description of it. Like, like Forrest Gump is,
Mentally disabled man buys boat, sells shrimp.
There you go. Wife dies of AIDS. But he doesn't. But he doesn't.
But he doesn't.
Can we do
And his
two
kid's fine,
sentences?
apparently. But his kid's fine, apparently.
How about movies summarized in a paragraph?
How about movies explained in what they really are? What really happened? That's what we'll call it, the what really happened segment. That's what we'll do. And we can do it with more movies. We can do it with like news headlines, books. Like, here's what really happened.
I don't know. Can you think of any good motivational quotes right now? And by motivational, you know what I mean.
Don't edge. Shit sucks. Put that on a meme and share it.
I got one for you. Motivational quotes.
And now, motivational quotes with Zach and JD.
Edging will save you time. No, fuck it. I don't know. Actually, edging will save you, edging will save you $150 per year in toilet paper needs or something. I don't know. Think about all the kids you won't kill. I don't know.
Wow.
Do you ever think about that?
Actually, it's funny you really said that. I'm going to say something embarrassing because why the fuck not? The first time I ever had my, when I was like a teenager, I had my first wet dream type situation. I didn't know what to do, so I went and asked my dad. Just kidding. My dad wasn't in my life ever.
There he was.
I know. But I did actually. I was like, Dad, this happened to me. It was so weird. I don't understand. Blah, blah, blah. It was crazy. And I was like, and he's like, well, yeah, that happens. He goes, and that, that's a normal part of life and all that. I was like, but I just couldn't help thinking all the babies I just killed. I literally said that. He goes, well, son, that's not really how it works. Anyway.
Wet dreams. I never had wet dreams.
Ever?
No. I didn't. You know what else we're going to learn to do this season? We're going to teach JD how to keep his head straight on the microphone so that the...
I have been. So. I thought I've been doing a pretty good job.
You've been doing all right. You could do better, though. I'm sure you hear that all the time, though.
I was like, thanks, Dad, and every girl I've ever dated.
Wait,
so
I was saying
where are we
something. I was saying something.
Nobody
Yeah.
ever tunes in to hear that, though.
Oh yeah. Another thing too. When we first started this whole thing, we were supposed to be telling stories from the past. So we need to get into more stories, and I like your stories a little bit better than mine because I don't really like talking about anything.
That and mine are just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I'll say that.
I think that was kind of our concept behind this podcast. Remember, actually, it's funny. It just reminded me. So my birthday was a couple days ago, and what people who don't follow
happy
us on
birthday,
social
by the way. I
media-
forgot to tell you. Sorry.
No, but you did. You shared what he does is interesting. It used to be back in the day, me and him would always stay up to midnight just to be the first one to say happy birthday before everybody else, so we had bragging rights. And now he just recycles the same Facebook post every single year of him saying happy birthday. So it's a picture of him from
It saves so
me and
much
him from my
time.
wedding. Yeah, it's from a picture from me and him at my wedding. And it was something nice and cheesy, like happy birthday to my best friend ever, which was cool at the time. But for 3 years now, he just shares that post to my timeline. And,
Listen, in my defense, it's really hard for me to say nice things most of the time. So you're lucky. I'm thinking after 5 years. So this was the third year. Maybe 2 more years of that, and then I'll be able to work up enough juice to say something nice to you again. I'm hoping.
well, I guess the point of me telling you that wasn't even that. It was what was written in the post that said the stories that we could tell about our lives people wouldn't fucking believe. And it's funny that here we are now, doing this podcast, telling stories that are, we haven't really told most of the crazy ass ones.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've done it because we've,
Like the time with the 8 people sitting around in a room, and that one was a great story. How'd that go again? Why are you shaking your head no?
That story will never be told.
Really? I tell that shit all the time.
I'm going to be a bachelor with you if that story is ever told.
I'm a little bit drunk.
Oh, hey, look, it's fucking Miller time. My mom's drunk and texting me. What time is it? It's
And it's
6.
funny. It's not even the drunk like I love you and miss you
Oh
either.
no! It's like you're I'm ashamed of you. You're a failure. No, she doesn't say that. She says good things, but she gets on my nerves. I mean, it's my mom. I love her. I'm gonna miss it one day when she dies of alcohol poisoning and doesn't send me these texts anymore.
Liver fails.
God, that's fucked up. No,
It is.
I don't mind. I just have I don't have a lot of patience for drunk people, like communicating with me. It's very
Oh
hard.
fuck! I forgot to get my wine in here for this.
Yeah, but that's okay. Like you're fine. You don't like.
Oh no!
you
I
don't-
just
you don't
totally
drunk
forgot.
text me.
I want to get it though. No, I don't. I actually, I don't. I drunk text myself because I feed myself compliments. So I like text myself and then I'll respond. I'm like, "How you doing? Get elected."
Yeah. Oh, also, our special guest from last season still isn't going to be able to make it, but
Yay! Good. Well, I had a backup, Casper, but she's not going to make it. Can you guess why?
that's something we should talk about because last season I think there was there was 2 girls, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And now there's new girls, right?
Yes.
Are you still talking to the old girls, or sorry?
One of them. And I talk to her every single day.
Oh, you're
And
talking-
I
which one are
enjoy
you
her
talking to?
Fault in our stars.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the one from episode 10.
So she's made it a couple weeks now, so that's good.
She still likes you even though I said all those mean things.
She thought it was one of the funniest episodes ever.
Why doesn't she ever want to Skype in and be a guest like Casper was? Is she scared?
Well, we are going to be Skyping this evening, me and her.
Yeah. You're gonna Edge?
No.
Hey, have you tried out Microsoft Edge?
Yes, I have actually.
Have you
It's
edged?
funny because Skype is that's what Skype should be called, Microsoft Edge.
Have you
Because it's
edged?
by Microsoft.
Have you edged while using Microsoft Edge?
No, I have not because I'm a Google Chrome guy.
Have you have you stared down the barrel of a 45 what?
Are you just trying to pick music to play in the background again?
No,
Because that was
no
the
music.
dumbest part of that episode.
Oh man, that was amazing.
We kept on trying to set it up, but it was
Rave
just...
reviews for the music.
Was it from you? Did you give yourself rave reviews?
Not just me.
But yes, there's I don't know. There's not really more that I'm talking to. That I would say I'm talking to. Like I'm at this point, right?
We're still on that.
Of course we are. You didn't let me fucking finish, you asshole. But no, like I'm still. I am talking to Fault, and we talk every day.
She has a nickname for her nickname now. It's not even the full name.
No, it's at Fault, and we're talking, and I wouldn't say I'm talking to anybody else because I'm not really. But there is somebody like I talk to that it's not like that because I guess she's with somebody.
Oh God,
Like,
tread carefully there, buddy.
And well, I mean, I don't know if she's happily or not. I don't think I ever fucking asked. But she's a cool chick, and I enjoy talking to her. But it's not like that. It's not like a relationship type thing.
God, you're like a girl. Like I enjoy the conversations that I have.
I do fucking enjoy conversations. I love conversations with people.
I've never met a single guy that's like I just want to meet a girl and fucking converse, have a great conversation. I don't even know how.
That's because most it's and this is going to sound offensive, and don't be offended, but it's because people are idiots, and it's okay
Why
because
are you
most
telling me not to be offended? I like
Well, because
I like having good conversations too, but that's not
I know,
what
but
I'm
I'm
looking
saying,
for when
but
I'm
I'm
single.
just saying. I'm just saying most people. Well, see, if I just wanted to go out and get laid, that wouldn't be hard. It's just I don't want that. I mean, I've done that, and that's fine. But like, I genuinely want something at least a little bit, at least be able to
something
color.
real.
Yeah, like something a little, like at least be able to color inside the lines or some shit. You know.
So, okay, I know you set me up, and I was about to just like take a shot, but I'm not going to.
I tried not to laugh.
I'm not going
I didn't.
to.
That would have just encouraged you to. The second I said it, I was like, "Motherfucker! Why did I say that?"
You know, but that's something that that I like about our, I guess you could say, relationship.
Dynamic. Let's go with dynamic.
No, but like we have to think 6 moves ahead when we have conversations with each other, because if one of us even slips up in the slightest
It's done.
and the other person's
done.
like on, like it's just going, like
It's
you're
done.
not gonna hear the end
like
of
we're
it.
done. Yeah, it's over. Yeah, and that was the slip right there that I just made. I was like, oh fuck! Right when I said it, I was like, ah shit. Good thing it's not past good thing it's not Gremlin time.
Yeah.
Like it passed 10 o'clock because I would have been fucking annihilated if I would have.
Gremlin the clock.
Gremlin the clock.
For our new listeners, what Gremlin the clock is I turn into a complete dick after 10 o'clock.
Very much. Huge dick.
I never get tired of hearing that.
Probably because you hear it so seldomly.
You and I both know that's a lie.
I don't even know what that means.
This guy.
Oh, this has to do with the. But I can't tell that story.
This guy's shuffling peanut butter in his mouth right now. Just like, protein, dude. You shaved your head, which I've got to tell you. I saw a picture of you on Facebook earlier, and I was like, wow, it looks really good. But you shaved your head. You're into these like supplements and shit now. And so you're like a beefcake. You're like Vin Diesel, but not Diesel. What's like Vin kerosene?
Unleaded.
You're like Vin kerosene or something.
Vin unleaded.
Vin electric car parking only.
Well, I got this too from the Amazon. Look at that. This is my big heavy ball.
He has a single kettlebell there of 20 pounds.
It's a nice kettlebell though.
I will send you $100 if you can curl that 100 times. And straight. Like no breaks.
I think my arm would fall off. I don't think I could do that. The only thing that I have been lifting since I got this kettlebell was this jar of peanut butter here. That has been my exercise.
Yeah. But anyway, your hair, your lack of hair now because you've shaved it, it looks good. You got
I think
you've got a nicely shaped head there.
a dome, like I don't have the dent head.
Hey, will you turn around? Let me see you from behind.
That's what she said. Wait, what? Why did she say that?
It's blurry, but yeah, it looks good.
Oh, my headphones came unplugged. My headphones.
I'm gonna take advantage of this right now. Man,
Fuck,
you fucked up. You gave me 5 seconds alone with these people.
I know. I couldn't fucking help it. My headphones.
You
came
should have
unplugged.
seen. You should have seen him fucking reaching
Like
for
I,
the cord.
I,
Like,
like,
my
I,
headphones.
like, I pushed my chair all the way the fuck back across the office. Like, get the headphone cord, quick!
I don't know what you're so worried about. I'm being nice today. Come on.
Unless that's what you want me to believe.
There you go with your head turned to the side and no one can hear you. There we go.
Please stop critiquing me. I can't stand.
I'm just saying.
Criticism.
This is like radio podcast.
It is radio podcasting.
Yeah. So like if you move your head, it sounds weird. I know how you
Does
like
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially when
okay
you're
then.
especially when you're telling one of your stories. Think of another story that isn't that story.
that's the 8-person story.
No 8-person story, no 4-person story.
I forgot about that one. That one's a great one. We told that story.
No, but we did not into details.
Oh, I almost said her name. I almost didn't think. I was like the one with. Yeah, with it in the bar. We did tell that story. Oh, we didn't tell the story. We told her talking about.
We told
the
her
story.
talking about the story, but we haven't gone into the story. I have to get clearance for these types of things.
Oh. And who's Clarence? That was so stupid.
If we laugh, do you think they'll laugh too?
That's the only reason I quit. I'm really crying on the inside. and on the outsides too sometimes.
Hey, I got a new computer.
Oh, I got a story for you. This one's self-deprecating now.
fucking whoop, new business.
So, it was my birthday the other day.
Yeah,
and
you mentioned that like 4 times already, but yeah.
Okay.
we get it. We get it. We're changing the name of the podcast. The JD and Zach show.
The JD! That guys. So I have this PTO meeting that I went to because I'm a PTO guy, and and that's not pay time off, by the way. That's a parent teacher. No, it is, and you're gonna like how this goes. Kind of, yeah, in a way. Believe it or not, yeah, kind of it is. So one of the moms took me out for my birthday afterwards. Because I was just gonna come home and watch movies and shit, and so she's like, "Oh no, I'll take you out for drinks." And we go to this bar that I always go to when I do go out, which isn't often. And we sit there and we're drinking. It was a great time. Like, it wasn't anything like that, but it was just a good time hanging out.
What's like that?
Talk about. It wasn't like me out with a chick and like I'm totally gonna like nail this later. It wasn't like that at all. But like we were hanging out talking about like politics and all the like smart people things, because I like talking about like multiverse theory. It's like one of my favorite topics. And so I'm going on and on. Get off your phone. I'm going on and on talking about
I forgot what this new camera placement is on my new computer.
Anyway. So talking about multiverse theory, but then we both get really tanked, and I don't want her to drive me all the way back to my place, which is like a 35-40 minute drive because we've been drinking. So I told her, I was like, hey, just drop me off at the bus station. It's like maybe 2:45 in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, just drop me off at the bus station. I'll take the bus back to my office. And I was like, I've got work I can do there anyway. It's not a big deal. She goes, you're going to be waiting forever. I was like, no, the bus will be here in a little bit. Anyway, the bus didn't come till about 2.5 hours later because it was in that part where they don't run. But the conversation that we had waiting before she dropped me off, she goes, you're such an intellectual. She goes, if you were gay, you could tell me, you know that, right? I'm like, what? I was like, I do have feminine qualities. Like, I like to talk with my hands. I get that. But that's stereotyping, I think. I was like, if anything, I'm a nerd, but I prefer not to give nor take.
And that has something to do with me, how?
Because you're gay. Wait, you're not?
Oh, we got it. I got it.
No, it was only because what you said the other day about your girlfriend asking you, because we talk all the time.
What did she ask me? I don't remember that.
You don't remember you were saying that she alluded that you had homosexual tendencies?
No, she said if like out of nowhere she was like, hey, if it turns out that like you're gay, it'd be totally fine because we'd be like Will and Grace, because Will and Grace came back, and so maybe that like triggered her to think that somehow I was gonna start having sex with men.
Just
I don't
Will
know.
and Grace, is that the people?
But I guess it's good to know, like, if I ever do decide to start going to Pound Town with guys, that I still have a cool roommate, I guess.
You have a sweet roommate.
I mean, I just hope that like I get the bigger room, I guess, when that happens. If that happens. Whoops.
If it ever happens.
No, I mean, I wanted you to get into a story about us. Because you remember things more than I do. I can't remember anything. And then I remember. Then once you start telling the story, I remember little details. I'm like, oh yeah, that just happened.
I honestly can't think of any right now, though.
God, you suck so bad.
I do.
It's because you're like trying to go healthy. And,
Hey, we got to pause.
Well, hello there. We'd like to apologize for the brief pause in the podcast, but we'll be right back. in a jiffy. Thanks for listening.
Are we back on?
And we're back.
We're back. Sorry, we had to pause. Why did we have to pause?
Why do you have to say that we had to pause? Nobody knows that we paused.
Because it's going to lead into what you're going to tell me next.
I'm pausing again.
Why?
I'm not pausing.
So we had to pause because I had to take a phone call because an ex of mine was blowing up my phone and I was concerned that there was something wrong. So I answered it and it turned out there was nothing wrong. She just wanted some gossip and she knows that I will freak out if I get random calls for no reason. I'll think something's wrong. And so I got a random call, thought something was wrong, but it was just a ploy to get me to give her gossip on like PTO type stuff or school type stuff.
So then before the call ended, you said...
So she wouldn't get off the phone with me, and I know her buttons enough to know what irritates her. So I started with, mid-conversation, she's saying, I really want to know this. I was like, hey, we should totally hook up. Would you totally hook up with me? Like right now, and she goes, hard pass, and then kept on asking about gossip, so that didn't work. So I moved on to asking who she was sleeping with, and then I said, how about this? I was like, I'll give you gossip if you tell me who you're sleeping with, because I knew that would also piss her off, and it didn't. She goes, I know what you're doing. She goes, and you're not getting me off the phone. Give me fucking gossip. So then I hung up. So that's all. I ran out of nothing. Anyway, so I was just telling you that during our little brief pause break, and you said to me what?
That I don't believe that you should edge. I think it's
What's that?
Because it's making you desperate.
Not desperate. I just really want to with the female at some point in my life before I die.
The true art of edging. And this is something. So, do we want to talk about why you're even edging in the first place? Because someone mentioned it to you, and said that it worked for them.
Yes, they did.
And so you're like, okay, I'm going to do it because of the results that this person claimed to have gotten from it.
All right. So a little background about the person. I won't say his name because we haven't figured out a nickname for him yet. So he's a car salesman, and it's really fucked up what he does, and I will never tell anybody. I'll never tell Soul who this is or anything about it. And he's not even local to the area. But if he's having a hard time selling cars, he will actually find a specific car, and he will rub one out into the car.
Wait, into the car or just in the car?
In the car,
Okay.
not into the car. Not like he won't like have sex with them.
Like he's not trying to have DNA evidence in case a rape ever occurs in the car. You know, he doesn't want. Because that would be.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is he rubs one out in the car. I never asked for details, but he swears to God that he will sell that car usually the same day within like 48 hours. I'm serious. This motherfucker swears on it that he will, right? And so he had mentioned that edging is also a way to kind of get your sales, like your blood flowing for sales and stuff. He goes, and it was that stuff that I said earlier where it makes you more confident. It makes you, because you think about sex, and let's face it, that's the human mind is programmed to function at least at some level about sex or wanting at some point. So he's like, that heightens everything. It makes you so that's what started the edging. Though so I have different clients that do different things, and one of them sells custom socks. Needless to say, that doesn't help sell socks. I'm just kidding. I haven't done that into a sock. I mean, I did. As a teenager,
You just told on yourself.
But as I haven't done that in a sock, but I haven't. I mean, maybe as a teenager, but that was a long time ago.
I used to do it into a popple.
Into a what?
A popple.
What's a popple?
Google it, man. It's from the 80s. They're
I got you beat.
They're like little like teddy bears that like you can like fold into a ball that costs.
Mine was a koozie.
Hey, I'm just gonna say that I'm pretty sure I have like 1,000 popple babies. There's a little pouch that you.
One of these days, what's going to show up at your front step and call you dad? It's going to be half human, half popple.
Listen, it was good times, but things didn't work out. Like I was trying to keep it casual, and she was all like, "Oh, we need to talk more. We need to have more conversations. You never take me anywhere." I'm like,
You don't love me. Why don't you love me? Oh
why do you go to sleep? Why do you go to sleep right after? What?
I'm a popple. Why don't we snuggle?
I'm like, you don't need sleep. I do. But yeah, like you pop it open, you do it, and then
I would choke and die.
And then you put it into a little ball again, and then it dries and. Ugh.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Either way, now I'm dwelling. What do you mean hard no? Why would she say hard no? I mean, yeah, I was just saying to get the fuck off the phone, but why wasn't there an interest?
Because she's banging somebody else.
Yeah,
most girls, not this one in particular, I don't think, but most girls only like to be with like one person at a time, and they can only have enough emotional ability to focus on one person at a time. At least in the beginning of whatever new relationship she may be in.
Why do you have web?
Oh, I don't know. I got it for free. What do you think about it? Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
No?
Get AVG. Get AVG free, for that matter. AVG is like one of the best out there.
Okay. I'm going to install this now, but...
Anyway, sure. I'll scribble that one down to my shit that JD says. I don't
like you know anything about computers.
It's really funny. I really don't. I know Google, but everybody sees the thick frame glasses, and everybody always asks me, fucking nerd. I went and looked at an apartment downtown yesterday, actually, right? Really nice fucking apartment. The girl that was walking me around, she was younger, tattooed up and everything, but you could tell she didn't really...
Was she fat or skinny?
Skinny. Okay. But she's a real good-looking girl, and she's a sales girl, which means that she wasn't... no. But she was a sales girl, which means she wasn't... I'm not saying all sales girls are dumb, but a lot of sales girls are dumb because they're just there to be a pretty face. So we're taking a tour...
That's fucked. I disagree with you 100% there, but continue your story. That's not true. It really isn't. I know lots of very good sales girls.
Okay. Well, I didn't say all of them. I don't mean blanket statements.
That was a sexist statement. But go figure. It's you. It's you.
Go fuck yourself.
You're what's it called?
A womanizer. What is the word that your friend said I was?
Misogynist.
Misogynist. Yeah, that was it.
Oh, okay.
That was stupid as fuck. But anyway, so we get to like the top floor, and they have like a common room or whatever. She goes, "This is where some of the guys come here and they play some game." She goes, "You'll know what it's called," and I'm like, "She said that. I'm not kidding." Because the fucking glasses, people fucking assume I know nerd shit. Which, I mean, I do. It was Magic the Gathering. I told her that without even going in there. And then we go in there. She goes, "Hey, they're playing right now." And she goes, "What are you guys playing?" And I said, "They're playing Magic the Gathering." And in unison, the two say, "It's Magic. It's a card game. It's Magic the Gathering." And then I was like, she's not going to understand what that means.
So you passed on the apartment, and you stayed and played Magic for a couple of hours, and here we are.
I did not. No, I went out and got lost in the train station again.
I didn't even realize St. Louis had a subway. How many trains are there? Is it just like one line, or is there like a bunch of different lines, a bunch of different stations?
There's a bunch of different stations because it goes all the way into Illinois. It goes through all of St. Louis City and outside of the city a little bit. It goes underground, some of it. But then they also have the bus system, which is connected to the train system, so you can get off at any stop and take a bus.
It's called the Metrolink.
Yeah, the Metrolink. And then we also have an Amtrak station right there at the main bus station. The main bus station is right next to...
you have a red line and a blue line, that's it.
Yeah, but we have 2 red lines and 2 blue lines.
Oh, wow.
Because it splits if you look at the track.
I see where it splits, but it looks like it splits in red, blue. But okay. Sure.
Yes, but there's 4 trains.
Right. That's cool.
That's what I'm saying.
That's nice.
Not all of us are fucking New Yorkian pizzas.
Hey, what kind of... Oh, that looks like a nice station, though. It looks nicer than the New York City station.
Well, it is, absolutely.
I like the archway. It's really nice.
Yeah, there's an arch stop, which isn't bad.
Take note, New York City, MTA. this is what a subway station is supposed to look like: clean and nice.
Mm-mm.
You know,
It's not always nice and clean.
I can only imagine the type of people that probably take it, because you live in a city where it's mostly like people that drive. You thought I was going to go somewhere else? Nope. No, like
You saw that look I was making at you.
I saw it out of the corner of my eye. No, like you live in a city like where people like drive, like people don't like
Most
here,
people drive. Yeah.
Here, most people take like the the train, the subway.
That's like common. But here, riding like the bus system or public transportation is almost like a sign of you don't have your shit together.
right.
Because everybody here has a car. Plus, St. Louis is a big area. I mean, you've got St. Louis City, and then you have St. Louis County. And St. Louis County is huge, too.
That's so interesting.
So
I can't believe Ralph May is dead. He was awesome.
he's really big in St. Louis. He used to come to the radio station here all the time.
He probably died of a heart attack because he's.
I would think so, too. Because he was always living such an exciting lifestyle on the road.
I think that he was one of those. You did
It was-
drugs?
No.
Oh,
I just
read
knew you
that
were going to say it's because he was fat.
No, I read that he had pneumonia. Well, I figured when someone dies and they're like 45, that is probably like drug related or something like that. But it's not. Like he
Yeah.
had pneumonia, and I guess he died of a heart attack or something like because of that. I guess I don't know.
Sounds about right.
It was sad, man. A lot of people passed. Tom Petty is gone, which sucks. The whole thing in
Las Vegas.
oh well, yeah, I guess that too. I was gonna say something else, but that's really sad that happened. Really crazy. You see all the conspiracy theories popping up about that.
Here's what I'll say. It's not fucking crazy that happened.
It's,
I mean,
You're
it's not.
right. It's not. It's not because it happens all the time.
And the fact that it's happening all the time and now it's being publicized, like it's letting the people who have done it, who are going to do it down the road,
Like aspire to it,
aspire to it, and it's going to be the people are going to be less desensitized to that kind of violence because it's becoming more and more commonplace. So, like originally, like mass shooting and stuff are usually like batshit ass crazy people, and the people who are doing it now, they're still fucked up and there's still something wrong, but they're getting more and more normal of individuals. You know what I mean? Because it's become like we're all just fucking desensitized.
Yeah.
All of us. Everybody's in this fucking country is completely desensitized to violence.
Where do you stand on the gun control thing? Because I think I saw you posting a couple of articles about like Australia and how they had that mass shooting. I think it was in like '98, and then they took all like the fully automatic guns.
I posted that just because it was by the Daily Show, and there's a point where in there, I don't know if you got to see that little clip, and I posted it because that part was hilarious, where he was saying that he's talking to like a very pro-gun lobbyist, and he's saying, just because those happen, we don't need to take them out of circulation because the people who want to use the guns will find the guns, right?
That's
so
true.
there is no, he goes, so there's no sense in making them illegal. To which John Oliver said, he goes, right. He goes, which means we shouldn't outlaw drugs because if people want them, they will find them. And he said this to a very conservative guy who said, no. I don't know what to say
You
about
didn't
that.
know what to say.
Yeah, and that's why I shared that is because it was, to me, that was humorous when somebody gets their logic turned around on them
Right.
and unexpectedly. That's why I shared that. My personal thing is dude, I'm pacifist as fuck though. So like I don't understand. I mean, most
AKA
of the
bitch.
bitch. So
You know what I
don't
think?
know. I mean, I don't shoot shit. So
You know what I think?
What?
I think that if it were able to be pulled off and there was a way to keep people from getting them, I would be for it. But I also agree with whoever said that. Like, they made drugs illegal, right? But people still do the drugs. And there's lots of business from it. One, the prison, which is a prison for profit system that we have, gets a lot of business because of the drug laws. All of these like cartels from like Mexico and all of these like people that are bringing drugs from wherever they're bringing, like in Asia or Afghanistan, like the heroin and stuff like that. Because it's illegal, because it's illegal, it's driven the price up, so it's given these other people a motive to do this.
bring it in, yeah.
What I what I think that it's a possibility that it could happen, but I think it's something that would have to be slowly phased in, because if they were tomorrow to say these guns are illegal, if you have them, you have to turn them in. I think that they're like these gun owners, the conservatives,
It'd be a fucking uproar.
like they would rise up. It wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
I think it's something like I'm a libertarian, and I that's I feel like that's,
What am I? I'm not a libertarian. I'm
I don't know.
a democratic socialist.
But I also know that like my points of view and libertarianism, like if we were to have a president, it would be something that would have to be phased in over several years. Like you couldn't just like put these policies into place like overnight.
Right now, what I would say, honestly, there's like, I'm okay with owning firearms, but fucking semi-automatics, fucking automatics, fucking silencers, like, it's. How about this? Let's just start with, I don't know, mental health screenings for one.
Well,
Jesus Christ.
Right, but all those things cost money. Here's the thing too, though. If someone wants to kill, they're gonna find any way that they can to kill, whether it be a gun, whether it be a homemade bomb, they're going to find a way to kill. So I don't think that's going. So that's going into your mental health thing. But in the meantime, what I think is realistic is for these types of weapons, like you separate the weapons into different classes, and for these certain classes, like these semi-automatic rifles, or whatever, like the assault rifles, you have to have a special license to own them, and it needs to be. I'm all for states' rights, but it would need to be something that like the federal government should be able to enforce via the states, like all states have to be on the same page. So if you want an AR-15, you have to have a special license for that AR-15, and enabled in to get that license.
What the fuck would you need an AR? Why would you need that? Under what circumstance?
I have no idea, but this is what you do. A special license, and you make it really, really hard to get that license. Like you have to jump through hoops and all that. So you have that. So to get the license, so you have the license, great. So now at least you know who has it, and now you make the penalties. So anyone who has one that doesn't have the license, you make the penalties so severe that people are terrified. If you're found with this gun in your car and you don't have a license,
death penalty.
Like you, not death penalty, but like you're in prison.
Oh, sorry.
You're in prison for like you get an automatic like 15 years. That'll create that'll make people not want. I mean, it'll also make it easier for people to set up other people, I guess. But like, obviously it has to be proven that that.
I know what would solve the problem. I've got it solved. I know what will solve the problem right now, which would get the entire government to pass gun legislation and act right now. I figured it out. All we have to do is just let a whole bunch of minorities buy the guns, and the government will shut that shit down.
I saw that on the internet too.
I stole that.
Yeah.
It's not mine. I make things better. But here's what's funny though. Seriously, but if they attach something that the government's already against to that legislation, like something to do with healthcare, I think it'd work.
Okay. What? Listen, man, I'm all about the Second Amendment and this and that, but you know what I'm also about? I also know that there are like, what is it, like 26 other like amendments or something like that, right? But also, I believe that with new technologies and advancements, that you have to sometimes
adapt
the rules to what's happening, and when these rules were made, I don't think that they had these types of weapons in mind.
No, they had bear arms. That's
right.
what they thought were the weapons. You had the right to bear arms. They're like if they looked right now, it's like, why didn't everybody have a pair of bear arms up? These things are the fucking shit, man.
We said literally, like you have to like cut arms off of bears and you hit people
bear
with
and
it.
Fucking mount that motherfucker.
You have the right to bear arms.
Yeah, they're gonna show up and be like, I really pictured a country with arms of a bear. Like that's what they meant. It's open to interpretation. You, sir, are a racist.
Anyway, that about does it for this episode 1, season 2 of.
Why did you say it like that? All right, so Duckus?
Sick. Sad.
Hey, Podcast.
Pod. Cast.
Deuces. I actually have deuces to me now. Did I tell you that?
What?
I have people who say deuces to me now.
Oh, yeah?
They listen to our podcast. Yeah, me. Deuces. Thanks again for tuning in to this week's episode of the Six Sad Podcast. This is a presentation brought to you by Six Sad Media. To learn more about the Six Sad Podcast, the hosts, or some of the characters that we've discussed in this week's episode, make sure to check out www.sixsadpodcast.com. To sponsor the Six Sad Podcast, make sure to contact us at www.sixsadpodcast.com/advertise. And last, and most importantly, if you've enjoyed this episode or the Six Sad Podcast, make sure to follow us online at facebook.com/sixsadpodcast or on Twitter or Instagram at sixsadpodcast. And now, an outtake from this week's episode. I'm Chuck Walker. What? Hi, I'm Chuck Walker from Chuck Walker's Discount Mobile Homes Emporium of Southwest Texas. We're currently experiencing technical difficulties. What doesn't experience technical difficulties? Dude, you farted. You fucking farted. Just go back to the fucking...